What's up? What's up? Looks like I'm alive. So let's see what's going on right here. Yeah, kind of continue working on these payments. Let's see what we can do next. Let's receive. Yes, we receive a user. Let's see, user. So we either need to get the plain ID or we need to get the application number for one-time payments or the plain ID for making a subscription payment. Okay, so let's import this guy. He's already there. We actually need to import somebody else. From share util third-party API. Import M-Pesa payments. Okay, so it's on use. What are we gonna do right here? Oh god damn it. It looks like we need to retrieve the payments method we've inserted. Let's see what's happening on making a payment as far as mobile payments related. Let's go on mobile payments, the Vodafone mobile payments. On making a payment method, we are receiving the amount and a keyword argument for optionals. I mean, it's not really optional. It's require for some require keyword arguments like a telephone number and the payments description. What we need to do right here. Oh, by the way, I want to show something. I've changed everything. I have collected all the the URLs, so it can be easier to retrieve instead of calling or hard coding the URL every time you want to make a request. Why don't we just create a URL property or attributes that holds all the URL, be it a sandbox URL or a production URL. So I have a sandbox. It's a dictionary of dictionary. Each key of a dictionary receive a dictionary with 2 key, sandbox and open API. If we get the sandbox, we will return the URL for sandbox for testing purpose. And in the future, I will know I'll do in such a way that when we are doing testing, if we're gonna do testing for a third-party API, I'm not sure I'm gonna do that, but just in case if I wanna switch, I can switch by getting a session URL. As you can see right here, I'm getting a session URL and I'll just pass sandbox. And these are things that's just a small helper, but these are things that, you know, I'm not saying, you know, AI will not be able to do that, but it takes a little bit of a human experience or not a memory, you know, to do that. And this is our get URL. It should be get API URL. I don't know why I named that get URL. Actually, it should be get API URL. That's the correct naming. Get API URL. Get API URL. Get API URL. And these are the places where we're testing. What I'm thinking, instead of yeah, instead of making I want a little bit further, but oh yeah, we need to receive a phone number. Yeah, I think that's good. So the phone number has to be dynamic. The payment description has to be dynamic as well. This one we will change when we go to production because this is a testing organization. Once you definitely register, this one has to go away because you have to make sure that you're using the actual organization that will be assigned to you from the API service provider. Okay, so if we wanna do payments, the payments method, so we have to confirm that we get that if that payment method exists. Yeah, so we're gonna check if that payments method exists or not. I mean, just by service is service, we use the keyword, and the keyword has to so the keyword has to be, in this case, the name of the service, and get the payments method if it exists. Honestly, at this point, I don't know why I had to, but at least we have to check that he has that payments method. Are we gonna verify the signed payment method? I don't think we have to verify down. But what we need to do, we are going to import that guy. Create an instance. I'm thinking, where am I gonna get the phone number of the user? I see. See, that's why we have to do signing of the payments method and saving it as a hash, because Let's go back to payments method. Payments method. Before I do, I need to remove this error. I'm just gonna pass. Let's go on payment method. Payment method. We have the transload. What I could do, I can actually create, I'm going to create a function that will verify the hash hexadecimal method we've saved here. If for those of you that are, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll show you one of my testing. So I've been testing verify. I'm gonna name this function verify transaction payload. I mean, why the word trans? It looks like the prefix trans has created a lot of damage in the world. We have the transatlantic trading. We have the transaction for money. We have the trans, you know what I'm talking about. So I feel guilty to use the word trans here, but I'm just gonna leave it. Okay. Okay. So verify trans payload. What are we gonna verify? We're gonna verify that we need to have a key so we can verify that this trans payload. So we need to reconvert right here before we make a payment. Before we make a payment, we need to grab the username, aka the owner phone number in the payment method, so we can use that to make a payment in this third API. So to do that, we are going to so we are going to reconvert. Let me show you what I mean before I just get myself into the rabbit hole or make things more complicated than should be. So what I'm referring to this test where we create a payment method, a user or the owner trying to save their payments method because eventually maybe they don't have a credit card, so they want to make a payment using their mobile service. We have to verify their phone number, and unfortunately when they're saving their payments method here, they don't have to send, they actually have to send their phone number as well. Yeah, because we want to make it easier. Let's say phone number. But before I get ahead in new feed, let's see what this testing does. Right, where somebody saved their phone number. Actually they're not doing anything. We abstract all the details, right? We want to make sure we abstract more details as possible so we can avoid bad actors, you know, tricking our API, sending something we don't expect. You know, abstraction is also one of the benefits of using abstraction is the ability to limit, to expose a little bit of functionality to the interface and limit hiding the details, right? So the only thing that the customer will have power to modify when they, just in case, we know that, you know, when we are building this application, we are not thinking like a, you know, just like the average person we use that. You know, some people with bad intention, they will always try to do something. So, but before I do, let me test this. Let me test this and see what's gonna happen. Python manage test tag equal payments method. Say no module, be trying to import something somewhere. It say, I don't know him, he doesn't know module. So let's go to the third party. What are we trying to import? Okay, so this is the guy we're supposed to import. Let's go back on our testing. And in the future, what I'm gonna do, wait, what? We probably have to do this. I don't know why it's failing. Let me comment that. I'll be back, but let's see what's gonna happen. Okay, so it works, but we have to expose, we need to expose the response object, which will be customized later because I don't want to send the response object the way I used to. Because when you are building something for the public use, you have to be really careful. Do not expose all your response. Do not just response everything by default, because you're probably gonna give a potential attacker, you're going to give them some clue how they may attack you. Like for this creation, I don't have to respond with all this payload. I'm probably just gonna respond with, hey, yo, you know, the phone number XYZ has been registered. Even the phone number, sending it back to the user. I mean, you can 64 encode it and decode that on the front end so they can see the phone number. But when you're sending that between end to end, between the front end and the back end, the phone number has to be at least a 64 encoding. With the arrival of quantum computing, it looks like I'm not saying it looks like the RSA encryption yeah, will become a sieve, you know what I mean when I say the RSA encryption becoming a sieve. It looks like the entanglements will be able to, I don't know, but I think it's already happening. Probably in 50 years they will tell us, oh, we're able to do that in 2025. Okay, so what am I doing here? What I'm doing here, I'm allowing the user to save their phone number after verifying the identity using what we call in the banking compliance. And when I say banking compliance, don't freak out. Banking is just an organization, they manage money, so don't freak out. Oh, he was talking about something in banking. It's just an organization, nobody's too powerful to be powerful, nobody. So we wanna get the compliance of KYC before we save the user payments. KYC, which stand for know your customer, and this is gonna be handled to a different endpoints. I'm probably gonna do that later. The reason why I chose the Vodafone, because the Vodafone API, it's simple and flexible. Their free money is also good, but it's still built for Africa. I'm talking about when you are building something for people who do not even know what you're building for them. So you are kind of entitled to offer them whatever you can, because they don't know what you're offering them. They're just gonna swallow it. You're just gonna eat it. Yeah, so after the user identify themselves using the phone number, we are going to compare the name, and then if the name match, we're just gonna give them access to proceed further to add a payment method using their phone number. But we are going to receive from them, this is gonna be defined by us. As soon as they click on I want to add a Vodafone service as a method of payments, we are going to create this payload on the front end, and we grab the username, this trans payload. God damn it, why did I name it trans payload? Supposed to name it transaction payload. Well, this trans payload, yeah, it's required, but it's meaningless. So people can usually, you can literally type anything like a chef, right? The chef team who build this city with code and operation. So the chef team, you can just type anything here, right? But this field is required. And this is the way you can trick a potential hacker, because they're probably gonna say like, what is this trans payload? When you put something here, they're probably gonna be, oh, they would think they're smart, they have to send something. But this field is required, but the response of this field is this one. We are going to hash, we are going to get the we are going to get the required payload, this required payload, which is the data class, right? We grab the data class, this data class, we convert that to a JSON, and we hash it as a hexadecimal string. We save it on the database. This is to preserve integrity in the future. And the user phone number will be here. right? The user phone number and some of the information require like the currency we will be using. It's just gonna be safe as it, we are going to use Blake 2 to encrypt that. I mean, when I'm saying Blake 2, I'm not trying to sound smart. It's a function that it has been here for a couple of years, It's not special, it's hackable, it's susceptible to noise. So, but not everybody has to do that. But hey, if you can use that, use. If you don't want to use that, it's just an actionable function. But it's not that as secure we may think. But it's also not easily. It's not. What should I say? It's not easily hackable, but it's a good encryption. Facilitating. Hashing. Anything. So we are hashing all this class. We hash that to a string. We save it to our database. What I will do in the future, I'm going to reconvert that. That's what I'm trying to do here. I'm going to use threading, a sub-thread, to do that, so I can increase a little bit performance, because encryption takes a little bit of computation, but you never know. So what are we doing? We save that as a payments method. So we are going to use this payment method to make a payment. To use that, we need to retrieve this where the username it's kind of like doing a double job, but it's not, because it's a preserve integrity. You don't want to use a JSON object, because if someone figured out that you're using a JSON object, the majority of people do not respect application deploy in Africa. So when you are deploying something in Africa and you know that you are going to a dangerous place where somebody can hire somebody else, to rent a hotel for a couple of weeks to show you where they are capable. So you have to be ready. You want to make sure that that guy, when he got hired, he show up in the hotel to break into your application. Not only they will waste their time, you want to make sure that they will not get paid. They will get back, as we say in French, or le même bredouille. Okay, it's simple, nothing special, but it's at least preserve the integrity. Instead of using a JSON payload, you don't want to do that, because with the JSON payload, somebody can trick you and send any type of JSON. Okay, yeah. So once we save that, we are not gonna respond this. This is too much, because if you respond with this, you are giving a lot of information to a potential attacker. So we're not gonna respond this. I know it's nothing, but it's maybe something. Okay, this is where we're saving our method payments. Now, if you wanna make a payment right here, you wanna check the user will send, I wanna make a payment using M-Pesa. And then they're gonna send us something like this MP in their service payload. And this is the endpoints we are creating of making a payment. We wanna check that they have that payments method using get object. We have customized objects or get objects, so it can be what is the word that we use? I want it to be plastic, right? Plastic by mean changing. I want it to be elastic. I want it to change, based on some arguments. I mean, parameter. Yeah. So if you use get object to send this service, we mean that we want to get the You're gonna check the payments methods somewhere here. When I get the payments method from this user, and a user should not have two payments method once, or they cannot have one payments method twice in the database. We've restricted that by using the constraints. Each transaction type and transaction payload and service and user have to be unique. There is no way a user will insert the transaction payload because it's abstracted away. They're just gonna send some unnecessary things. We are going to update that. And that's the way you build a secure endpoint that's going public. Make sure you hide more. You expose a little bit. It's kind of like the interface of a key. A key might be small, but it can open, you know, a huge or a big door. It's kind of like a, you know, a passcode, you know, a 4-digit passcode on your iPhone will unlock a lot, you know, your pictures, whatever it can. So, okay, yeah. This is unnecessary. You know, I can type anything here on trans payload. Unfortunately, our signing of the transload will be deterministic, which means we are not using a random seed, so it can be random. That will make it more complicated. We don't want to do that. Let me see. Is it deterministic? No. Oh, it's good. It's not really deterministic. As you can see, 0, 5. We have a 6B, so it's kind of, you know, it's changing, which is good. Maybe because we are using 64 bytes, and also we have a key. If you want to know where I did it, where I used Black 2, I hate to spend a lot of time on this, but you know, this is where I did that, and this is signed Black 2. We get our JSON payload, the JSON payload that converts the class, the Python data class to a JSON, and signings that return hexadecimal hashing, this long hash right here. Okay. Now, we need to verify that guy, and reconvert. When we're making a payment, we need to reconvert that to. But before I do, we want to make sure that we send the phone number. After checking the phone number, know your customer, we can send the phone number right here. Phone number will be something like, what is the format they're using for phone number? Do they sending, I'm gonna show you where I am so you guys can see. What is the format they're using for phone number? The phone number they're using, I think, the phone number format is this one. So 1, 2, 3. Let me zoom it. So the phone number will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2. So it's gonna be the code. I'm guessing this is the country code. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so it's gonna be the country code, and it's also gonna be the phone number. So in our case, if we wanna send the phone number, so if you wanna send the phone number, it's gonna be something like a 243. 243. I can't remember the. Okay, I think for the phone number in the Holy Land, it's probably like a. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Just put a random phone number. Or we can do this since we will be receiving a string. Yeah, so we receive a string and then we. Yeah. I mean, it's the same. Now, let's see if our API will be able to validate the phone number since the phone number is not even required. I'm pretty sure it's gonna work. So we're gonna print it somewhere here. Let's print phone number. We say phone number. I'm gonna use the format. Yeah, I'm gonna use the format. Validate data. Pop. Phone number. Okay, that's the phone number. Man, I didn't know working on my file was that difficult. Yeah, you have a tough job, man. No, for real, I'm not kidding. It's not that easy, man. Yeah, it's a tough job. You know. Okay, so that's what we got. What is so we want to print the phone number, see what's gonna happen. Let's see if we can print the phone number. Oh, say I can't find the phone number. Did we send the phone number? Yes, we did send the phone number. Why can't you find it then? Maybe it didn't validate that. We sent the phone number. Why he didn't validate that? Maybe because he doesn't know him. He doesn't know the phone number. My phone number is optional. It's not something that he needs. Oh, he has to validate him. What is he saying? He's saying that key error phone number. Ah, these are validated. Oh, what I'm sending that it's not. We have to do that right here. On credits. Let's try to get it right here. And I'm not sure, but you know, these are validated key. So we have to make sure that they are correct. Still cannot get it. What is he saying? Is he saying, hey, I didn't find your phone number because maybe it's not required? Okay, so let me print everything from validate data. Let me print and see. Maybe I'm not using the correct variable. I'm just gonna print everything from validate data. You really don't need a phone number here, but I'm seeing if there will be a possibility for me. Yeah, these are validate data. The only way I can get the phone number sent, I can get it right here on view payments method. I can get it right here on payments method. I have to customize the created. I don't want to go get the contact number. Because the phone number is so important. I mean, I could customize the created method, because if I go right here on payments method, define created, and before I return super, if I print request data, right? I mean, request data is the same as a request post data. So let me just try a request and I return super create request list arguments, keyword arguments. I'll be able to get, you know, here on validate data, I'm not getting the phone number, but right here on the entrance, the endpoints where we receive everything before we serialize, we are going to be able to find the phone number right here. Oh, there is a way to do that. I know how I'm gonna send it. I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna send it. Okay, but let's see the way we're gonna grab the phone number. You see right here, we couldn't find the phone number, right? We just see the payments. We only see the data that are validated. You know, only required fields will be displayed here. Okay. I mean this one. This is the first one, not the second one. So to get the phone number, we can go back on serializer, we delete this print, we test again. Okay, now we can see the phone number. See the difference? Now we can see the phone number right here. So what we're gonna do, we want to send the phone number to our request. To send the phone number in our request, we want to send the phone number in our context request. I think to do that, we are going to do something like this. we have let's do, I think I'll do something like let's do self context. Okay, and I need to look at something, you know. I need to look at the way we can update the context object. I don't know if the context object is read only or it can be updated. These are some this is one of the trickiest thing you can do. If we succeed to do that, context. Oh, so we have a function called get context serializer. Get context. We have a method called get serializer context. That's the method we need to call to update our context so we can send the function, and it's gonna, oh, what am I talking about? There is a way we can find that. My bad. There's a way we can find that. We can find that right here in serializer. We can find see, I have to refresh my brain because it was kind of like a far away. So to get the payment, the phone number, even if the phone number is now required, we can do, let's go back on we can comment these two lines, go back on serializer, so we are going to print self context request data. Right, that's where we are going to get our phone number. We want to be able to get the phone number somewhere here so we can see what we can do with that. Oh, context doesn't have a attribute request. I see. It's a dictionary, so we need to pass the key request. Context is a map, as we call it in Go. It's not a struct. So Wait, what? Okay, so we got the request. This is the request I'm looking for. Okay, yeah, we got the request, and we can print that as a dictionary. We can pass the property dic, which converts the object to a dictionary. Remember, it's convert the object to a dictionary by reference. He doesn't point to the address. It's not gonna affect the object. It just convert to a reference. You know, so using a dic is safe. It's not that dangerous because it doesn't change. It doesn't change the object. You just get the reference and then you convert the reference and return the value. Because this is Python. This is not a language like a C or Go where you have to go change the memory address. A reference, it's kind of like a, you know, a copy. So we are converting a copy. We are now changing because with dic you can change the attribute. So let's see what we get here. On the data, we get, oh, I'm getting a lot. What am I doing this? I can just do this data, right? And go back to tests. For now, we need to comment this. We don't need that. Okay. There we go. So as you can see, we got the phone number. See, that's the only way we can get the phone number. Even if the phone number is not required in our payments method, the phone number is not required. We were able to get it from the context object. Now that we get our phone number, when we are creating our payments later, we want to make sure we send that phone number right here on the phone number. I think this should be a key pair value, a key value, so we can make sure that because phone number is critical. I'll make all of them key pair value because I don't want to, insert something where it shouldn't be. Yeah, I'm gonna make all of them. I have to make that explicit. Let's go to input customer MSI SDN. We're gonna go back on let's go, where were we? We're here. So we want to make sure this is gonna be explicit so we can avoid, yeah. So we are going to receive a phone number. We're not gonna send it to validate data. Let's make this let's make this simple. We want to make the signature of this function to be a little bit simple. That's one thing I like about Python. We can just say, hey, receive a list of arguments, and also receive the last one has to be a keyword argument. And then when we receive a list of arguments, we're gonna say something like we're we're gonna see something like this. The first one will be method. The second one will be service. The third one will be trans type. And the fourth one will be, we need to make sure that we make the fourth one what will be the fourth one? The fourth one will be phone number. Phone number. And then we just pass our arguments. Okay, and then phone number, we're just gonna be right here. Okay. Isn't it beautiful? That's why I like Python. Python is so, it's one of the language when you learn how to program with that. The second most easiest language that but it requires a little bit of prior knowledge. It's Go. Go is, I mean, when I was learning Go, it was just like you feel your brain is just, because if you already work with C, it will be easy for you to understand Go, even if it has a strong type. But okay, let's see if it's gonna work. We get method. This signature has changed. So the first one is, okay, oh no, the first one is method, the second one is service. So it's kind of reverse. This one is method, the second one is service. The third one is phone number. So we are going to grab our phone number like this. Phone number equal data phone number. Yeah, we want to be able to get their phone number because this is the key to making a payment and validating their identity. I mean, if AI could do that, you know, good luck. I'm still waiting for AI to get to this level, and creating a bunch of, I don't know which word I can use. So, okay, we get our phone number and then we're gonna pass our phone number as a fourth argument. Okay, the last one has to be keyword argument. So we want to make sure we start with 2* so the signature will match. This one is a list argument. This one a keyword argument because validate data is of type. What is the type of validate data? I think its type is all the dictionary. So all the dictionary is a keyword argument. Let's try what's gonna happen. Let's see if our test will pass. So we don't need a phone number, but we kind of need it. So we don't need it, but it's necessary for future payments. As you can see, taking a little bit longer because I've removed. Okay, what's happened? multi-value dictionary key. Wait, what? Oh, this can be. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's an int. Something is wrong somewhere here. Oh, this should not be phone number. This should be phone number. Phone number. Okay, so we were able to put our phone number in this hashing object. So the phone number is now right here. We want to see how we are going to retrieve that, because we grab a phone number. This function is becoming heavier. What I will do in the future, I'm gonna create a sub thread. Can you create a sub thread within a serializer? If you know what you're doing, you know, why not? So I'm gonna create a sub thread here. I'm gonna run it so you can switch a little bit, use a little bit more memory to make the creation, the hashing, or the sign when I'm signing Blake, to make it a little bit faster. I could even do that under this function. Can I do that now? No, I'm gonna do it later. Okay, so we save our phone number because we need our phone number. It's so important. We need that. Now we know we don't need this anymore. Now we know that on making a payment right here in our method, if the method exists, we gonna, what are we gonna, we need to, yeah, so let's create a function that will verify the payload. Let's create a function that will verify that the payload, this payload, has been correct. But we need to create a signature so we can sign that to make sure that what we receive is what's. Oh, I see. I see. It's making sense now. JSON feed. So if y'all need to see what I'm seeing now, I'm gonna do this so you guys can be able to see what I'm seeing now. I'm looking at JSON feed in Django. So this is what I'm looking at. So JSON feed in Django takes the encoder. The encoder is a subclass to serialize data types not supported by the standard JSON serializer. Example, datetime or UID. Okay. You can use the Django JSON encoder class. The decoder subclass to deserialize the value retrieved from the database. You can use the default JSON decoder. So by itself, I could just use a JSON field, which would make sense. But the thing with JSON feed, anybody can send any JSON and then we're gonna accept that. Okay. Nevertheless, we're gonna use the JSON feed. Okay. I'm gonna end this video right here. My necks are cramping, so thank you all for watching. It was kind of interesting though, you know. So let's go back. Let's just finish the work. Let's finish the work. What we need to do, we're gonna change everything. So we add a new feed called payload of type JSON feed, and this was correct, you know, sign. This was correct. He has to verify trans payload. On serializer, let's go back on serializer. When we're creating our objects, we have a new feed name payload, and the payload, we take the JSON object. Okay, the payload, we take the JSON objects, and the signed payload, the trans payload is removed now. Goodbye trans payload. See, it's become a signed payload. Okay, oh, I see what I can do. Things are unfolding now. The signed payload, what else can we do? We have on serializer, so signed payload. But before we do, let's make make migration subscription. We've changed the payment method. Yes, it was renamed. The default one will be something like this. Data. Okay, cool. We create the fields. We have a new field named payload, which can take a JSON payload on a payments method, and we have a signed payload, which can get a digest of the hash payload. Okay, Python manage migrate. We migrate that. There is something wrong with the constraints. It's crying out. It doesn't know the trans payload anymore. We are going to remove him anyway. We need trans payload anymore. We're just gonna use 3 feed for each transaction type. We have its respective service and the owner, the user. Let's go remove the migration file, delete that, make migration again. Yes, we rename that. Default will be data. Create, we remove the constraints unique type because we've removed the trans type. We rename the feed trans payload to sign payload. We add the feed payload and we create a new constraint. Bingo. Python manage, we migrate subscription. No install application subscription. Missing C. Bingo. So we migrate that and what else we need to do? If we do this, we'll be able to verify okay, so we'll be able to verify the sign payload. Okay, so we'll be able to verify the sign payload. To verify that, we're just gonna return from hashlib from hmac import compare digest. So we're gonna compare digest. We're gonna return compare digest. B plus self plus self sign payload to string compare that to encoding UTF. We compare that to what? To compare that to, so we're gonna compare the payload to sign payload. Oh, so this was correct. Uh, oh, no, it should be this way. Payload to sign payload self. Yeah. This one has to be bytes as well. Plus string of encode UTF. Okay. It looks like both of them has to be both of them has to be bytes. Okay, so that's the way we're gonna do that. To verify, if we verify it doesn't match, just in case somebody else send something on JSON, the signature doesn't match, it's gonna throw an error. But so far we've made progress, so let me go test again. This one is no longer trans payload. I was looking for a way to remove, it's now a signed payload. Let's see if it's gonna work. Tests tag equal payments method. Okay. Payment method not found. It looks like something failed, so the response will be some require feed, I'm guessing. Yeah, payload require. You know what I'll do with payload? Yeah, let's just send it so we can trick. Yeah, let's send it. Payload will be data. something like a data require. Yeah. We're just gonna do it this way. Okay, so this has to be a JSON, so we can do this. You have to stringify the JSON object. Let's see what's gonna happen. Okay, looks like it works. A payload must be a valid JSON. Sign this field is required. It must be a valid JSON. Yeah, it was a JSON. What else do you need? Some payload, this field is required. Okay, so let's do this. If I don't find any solution, I'm gonna go back to, let's see, sending JSON feed. Okay, let's try again. I think the problem might be on serializer. So let's go on serializer. Sign. It says it should be a JSON object. Some of my formats are not correct. You must need to consider using JSON. Where is that failing? A dictionary for key payload. Test data contain a dictionary. Or it should be a JSON. What do you mean it should be a JSON? this is not ejection, this is a dictionary. Should work now. What are we trying to accomplish here? So I'm gonna go use this. It looks like it does not recognize this guy, so let's go do this. Let's try this way. I know this is not the correct way of doing that, I assume, but just want to get this test passed and see what's gonna happen. I'm probably gonna delete the refactor that letter. What? Oh, so it's passing now. It's passing now. We are close to get there. Yeah, people don't like failure, but failure is part of yeah, so we got it. We got our payload. We got a signed payload and the payload, and then right here we are going to this one has to be the function verify sign payload will return true to confirm that everything went correct. If not, I'll come back to check on that later, but it will return true. Oh, return false. Why did you return false? Did he just say that what we send is not correct? If you return false, it means something went wrong. Let's see the way they verified that again. The verification, both of them has to be we encode the payload. Oh, it should be true. If it's false, it means that it fails to verify. Okay, guys, I'm gonna stop here. I'm tired. It's been 2 hours. It would be better if I'm not talking, but since I have to talk, you know, kind of like a spending double energy, 2 bandwidth simultaneously, thinking and talking. So the comparison right here should return true if it's now something is wrong. Oh, I see. But this one is a JSON though. Okay, I'll figure out that later. We have to make sure that the signature passed. If it's passed, then we're gonna validate that the JSON upload was the correct one. And then we're gonna continue. But so far we've made progress, you know. We just have to make sure we sign before we make payments. Okay, thank you all for watching. It's I mean, it's kind of complicated, but it is not, because as soon as I get the compare that just passed through, to make sure that the payload is correct, that the signature of that, we are going to make a payment, but we can only make a payment by retrieving the JSON. From the payments method, we're gonna get the payload, and from the payload we get the phone number plus the application, and we go make a payment, and we make a payment, which is kind of a lot, but you know, well, it is what it is. But anyway, make some progress, which is good. Okay, I'll see you later. Peace out.